I'm Joy Mayer with Trusting News, where we train journalists to rebuild trust with the public through engagement and transparency strategies. Today, I want to talk to you a bit about why trust is so important to your ability to thrive and survive financially as a business. When we talk to newsrooms about what they hear from their audiences, we hear a lot of things like this, that a lack of understanding about how the business side of the operation works gets in the way of trust, that people don't understand a natural division between advertising and editorial departments. People don't understand why a paywall was needed and resent the fact that they're being asked to pay for news. And in general, just don't really understand what news offers, why it's important for their community, and how financial support from a community factors into their ability to get good coverage of their area. So we want journalists to tell a better story about why their work costs money, why it has value, why it deserves financial support. We have some examples for you of that. Our newsroom partners at the Coloradoan have invested in reporter bios at the end of stories that include information from each reporter about why they do what they do and why they are asking for community support. They also at the Coloradoan have invested in being real transparent with folks about where their money comes from. I love that they include actual percentages here. 60% of our revenue comes from advertising. The other 40% comes from subscriptions. 40% of our budget comes from our community's willingness to invest in us. There's research that shows that people really don't understand how news is funded, especially local news. A lot of people think the local news business is actually in fine shape financially. And there's also indications that they would be more likely to contribute money if they understood the real state of affairs. If you get pushback of your paywall, it's really worthwhile to explain why you have one and how that works, why news can't be free, why it costs money to produce, how glad you are to be able to offer a few stories a month free if that's the case, and thank people for reading. If they have hit that wall, it must mean they're finding value in your work. The Sarasota Herald Tribune here has a good reply ready when people start to complain about the paywall. And if you continually inject language like this into a comment thread, your fans will notice. The people who support you will start to adopt your language and defend you as well. One other case study to share with you, our newsroom partners at PolitiFact worked with us to do an A/B test of a newsletter audience. And over the course of many weeks, half of the newsletter continued to get regular language around the donation button, but we wanted to see if telling the story of the news operation could actually lead to more clicks on that donation button. So for the experiment length, half of the newsletter list got a rotating set of value statements like this when they were asked to donate. Our fact checks disrupt the agendas of politicians across the ideological spectrum, support the truth today. Specific statements that tell the story of the work and why it matters. That half of the newsletter audience also got extra bullet points in the newsletter that offered behind-the-scenes looks at how PolitiFact operates. It includes statements of the process of checking facts and what that looks like, and also a reminder that they were independent and nonpartisan and what that looks like, linking to fact checks of politicians across the spectrum. What we found is that the half of the newsletter list that got those extra elements and the trust strategies was both more likely to click on the donation button and had higher perceptions of the brand, higher net promoter score ratings. It is worthwhile to tell people why you are asking for their support and invite them to join the cause. If you'd like to learn more about Trusting News, we have a 10-day free text message course going called Trustworthy Elections. And we also have a newsletter we send out each Tuesday with quick, actionable tips for earning trust. So look in the links down below to sign up for either of those.